All right. One other scripture that impresses me is Romans chapter 2, verses 9 and 10. I would like to say, it's just an objective manner, I was not interested in the Jewish people when God saved me. I had a couple of Jewish friends. They were all as totally assimilated. They didn't live very different from Gentiles. But God, through circumstances and through His working in my life, has compelled me to become involved with the Jewish people. I am an unusual person. I have 6 adopted Jewish daughters. Not many people have that. I didn't plan that. God did. But I want to say that an understanding of God's dealings with the Jews will give you a far clearer insight into all of Scripture than you will ever have if you don't understand that. So, Paul says in Romans 2, verses 9 and 10, and this is the middle of one of his rather long sentences, tribulation and anguish on every soul of man who does evil, of the Jew first and also of the Greek or the Gentile. But glory, honor and peace to everyone who works what is good, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. So there is an order in which God deals. When it's tribulation, it's to the Jew first, but then to the Gentile. See, that makes me tremble when I think about the Holocaust. Because if that happened to 6 million Jews, what is going to happen to Gentiles? It'll never end with the Jews. They're the starting point. It's to the Jew first, then to the Greek. All right, let's go back to Matthew 24. We get to verse 23, another then. Then, if anyone says to you, look, here is the Christ, the Messiah, or there, do not believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will arise and show great signs and wonders, so as to deceive, if possible, even the elect. Notice the chosen ones. My personal opinion is the reason they cannot be deceived is because God has chosen them. He'll keep His hand over them. Otherwise they would be deceived. That may not be the way you see it, but that's the way I've come to understand it. And let me point out that the ability to perform dramatic signs and wonders does not always attest the truth. Satan is capable of many dramatic signs and wonders. Charismatics tend to have this feeling, well, if it's supernatural, it must be from God. That is not true. Please bear that in mind. In Acts 16, there was this fortune teller girl who was a slave, and she followed Paul and Silas in the streets saying, these men are the servants of the Most High God who show to us the way of salvation. She was the first person in Philippi to know who they were. But she was a servant of Satan. She had a satanic word of knowledge. How did Paul react? Did he make her a member of the church of Philippi? No, he cast a demon of fortune telling out of her. Let me tell you, all fortune telling is demonic. And they do often come out with the truth. Ruth has given me permission to say this, but before she was saved, somebody advised her to go to a fortune teller. She went to this lady who had never seen her before and never saw her afterwards, knew nothing about her. And this woman told her 3 things. Your husband has left you, you have 3 children, and you're barren. Yeah, that's right. And you are barren. You cannot have children. Every one of those statements was true, but it was Satan who was telling her. What was Satan's purpose? To get Ruth hooked on the satanic supernatural. By the grace of God, she never went back. And a little later, she met the Lord. But please, I want to warn you, because I see so many charismatics are absolutely set up for the Antichrist. There's only one sure guarantee of what is true, and that is the Scripture. And if you go away from that, you'll end up in trouble and deception. Let me show you what it says in Revelation chapter 13. Revelation 13. This is about the